Hello and welcome to Fast Talk, the ad hoc podcast from Roll for Sanity, where we become mythos investigators in the world of Call of Cthulhu role-playing. Folks, there's just too much Call of Cthulhu for just short videos on YouTube and lots of interesting people to who we can talk. So we bring these together here on Fast Talk and see what we can learn to improve our game. Joining us today, we have the light that shines in the darkness of Cthulhu and brings us a Symphony 2.
That's such a dope line. Oh my God, Cosmic, that is beautiful. I love you to death for that. Hi, I'm back.
You are. It's fantastic. Who are you, just in case folks don't know?
Yeah,
who
guys.
This legend is.
I've been over here before because I'm a big fan of some Cosmic. But if you missed my previous episode, hi guys, my name is Bridgett Jeffries. I am the owner of Symphony Entertainment, and I am Chaosium's community coordinator.
We'll talk about to yourself and Symphony Entertainment in a bit, but usually the first question, I say usually. First question I ask and guess is how you came to Call of Cthulhu. But as you are a wonderful returning guest, instead we'll ask you, what made you go from player to performer? Because it's one thing to play games with friends, but it's another to put that out on the internet.
Oh, Cosmic, that's such a great question. Oh, that's such a fun question. So, to make this on the shorter side, I am one of everybody who got caught with, I'm playing tabletop role-playing games, and I love it. And then the world ended in this thing called a pandemic. And many of us transitioned due to necessity, due to wants, due to whatever our reasonings were, transitioned to digital and remote play. That became more and more common, where the only way you could connect with your friends was virtually. The only way you could continue to play these role-playing games was suddenly, you're playing Call of Cthulhu through Zoom or on Discord. And I hadn't made that transition prior to the world ending, but I was forced to make that transition on the way. Well, Cosmic, during that time, actual plays went through like an explosion when it came, to viewership and engagement. Because again, we weren't allowed to go to cons. We were separated from our friends. We couldn't, sit around a table. We couldn't even go to our local game shop. So there was like this need for, escapism that comes with tabletop role-playing games. And there was also a need for that type of entertainment and engagement since we couldn't get in one-on-one. So there was this massive surge of people performing online. I did it once, hated it. Did it twice, hated it even more. And then by the third time, something clicked for me, Cosmic, which I think is very interesting. So super fast. One of the reasons I prefer horror gaming over fantasy gaming is because it touches on beats that are very humanizing and touch on vulnerability, and they get my nervous system more engaged. I get a high off of playing horror. Okay, so that's horror gaming. Playing it. When you take it to performance level, suddenly you've taken it to like top shelf immersion. Because when you're performing a tabletop role-playing game, you're not just playing for your friends or for your own amusement. You are centralized focus on, I am providing a service or a product to somebody else. And it heightens the experience. It makes the buy-in across the table all reach the same moment. And it's like, ah. So how did I get into it? That is exactly how I got into it. Why do I stay there? Because the high is even higher when you're in performance mode.
Absolutely. I remember we had you on the Miskatonic Playhouse for an alpaca story. There's so many of them. They just keep reading. And I got to admit, it was one of the first times, Playhouse was fairly new. We had this crazy story about people being chased by no spoilers here on Roll for Sanity, people being chased by a monster.
By a monster, yep.
By a monster. And of course, during a game of Call of Cthulhu, there's insanities to be had. And unfortunately, I can't even remember the name of Bridget's character. But another poor, unfortunate character had managed to break their leg crawling away from this monster. And unfortunately, Bridget's character became friends with the monster, shall we say. And it was a wonderfully comical moment where this player couldn't get away from Bridget's character, who was in a bout of madness.
Was it about?
It was about a madness, and you had violence on your mind. And the death of this character at the hands of Bridget's character
so good.
was so good.
So
but
brilliant.
At the same time, it was kind of, hang on a second. This is cool in the game. It's brilliant fun. But this is a performance. I really want to bring this to it. And so I rarely ever put music in the Playhouse because music online is a world of hurt. But, thanks to Sirenscape, there was this lovely piano piece that I managed to find. And I just played it underneath that. And there was rain coming down as well. And I think I faded your voice that way. You're saying, "Where's my story? Where's my story?" or something, because the character was the editor. And the music played, and I just left the sound of rain dripping. And then we went straight back into the game.
Yes. That atmosphere, that immersion.
Atmosphere, immersion. It's just what you want. And that's, for me, is why I like the aspects of actual play.
Yes.
I think I must do a podcast about it, if you'll forgive me, folks, for interrupting Bridget's tales. But for me, actual plays are let's
go. Yeah.
Yeah, let's be inspirational and everything. They're a new form of entertainment.
Yes.
You read a book, you understand the characters' thought methods as they go through what they do.
Correct.
You watch a film, you see it enacted, and there's various scenes and everything like that, but you don't know what the characters are doing. You'll hear a radio play, you don't see the characters. With a actual play, you can see the characters or not see the characters. Those characters will tell you what they're thinking.
Yep.
They will go through a story that unfolds.
Correct.
It's an interactive story,
Yes.
not on rails, that they will do. And add to this the randomness of the dice.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The dice become storytellers. Yep.
Exactly. What would have happened is Miss Marple hadn't picked up on that person telling a falsehood.
Right.
Story would change. And you get that in actual plays.
Correct.
So you can have, and that's where I do need to do a podcast on.
You would. That would be a great episode, babe. Yeah.
Because, you go from the games which are very much, my dice has killed you, through to the story platforms which are, let's work together. What are we going to do? Here's how we're going to resolve the story. So from game to story and everything in between.
All those pieces in between. Correct. Yep.
I don't know how many actual plays you listen to, but there are some where, did you just stick a tape recorder on the table and put it out on the internet? Folks, we love your enthusiasm, and that's what actual play is about, to sit around a table with some friends listening to their game.
Yeah.
But, microphones are really not that expensive these days, and it could be done, but we could talk about actual plays all day. But
it would make a great episode, babe. I am putting that on your docket.
Have to do it. Now, next question I ask is, what has caught your eye recently in the world of Call of Cthulhu?
Ooh.
In particular, that's jumping out, because being Chaosium's community ambassador, I guess you have a choice of things.
Yeah, so there's always some really fun and exciting things coming down the Chaosium pipeline. One of our taglines is the sun never rises at Chaosium, because we're all over the globe. So there's always something going on somewhere. So I think the thing that has my attention the most right now, speaking of all over the globe, Cosmic, this is a big, big year for Chaosium, because this is the 4th year for Chaosiumcon Ann Arbor, which is Chaosium's proprietary con. So it's a celebration of all things Chaosium intellectual property. This is going to be the 2nd or the 3rd year for Chaosiumcon Australia. Same con in Australia. Big news. But this is going to be the 1st year for Chaosiumcon UK. Fans have been begging for it. They have been screaming for it. They've been scratching the inside of the walls out for it. Chaosiumcon is finally coming to the UK. And you might see another one, but I'm not going to say anything more than that. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say before marketing calls me and be like, Bridget, you run your mouth too much. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a big year for Chaosiumcons, baby. We got 3 rolling out.
Yeah. And it is great to see Chaosium listening to, hey, we love you guys, but
Indeed.
it's a long way to Ann Arbor, and
Yes,
you're
yes.
near Innsmouth, so I'm never too sure what's going on. And you always want to make the joke, oh, how is Anne these days? But no, that's very silly and British. And you have such great fun at the American venues.
Yes.
What is it like actually being at one of these conventions? What can all the folks travelling to the UK likely to get if it's half as good as the American
US was?
What could we expect? Because did I see you in a nice 20s dress?
Yes, you did. I was absolutely in a flapper. It was great. Okay, so if you're looking at Chaosiumcon, what can you expect? I will say this much from a consistency standpoint across the multiple Chaosiumcons, because at this point I've attended 6 or 7 of them. I've been to the Australia one. I'm an organizer for the Chaosium one, Australia, or Ann Arbor, and I can only assume this will be the same in the UK. Here are things you can expect. One, it's a celebration of all things Chaosium, which means our focus is on Chaosium intellectual property. So you're not going to see D&D games or Pathfinder games or Alien the RPG on the official schedule. You're going to see Chaosium games. Now, here's why that's really cool, and that's a positive expectation to have. You know, when you are in a convention space and there are 20,000 people around, but some of them are board gamers, some of them are tabletop role players, but the people who are in tabletop, some of them are fantasy, and some hate horror, some love horror and won't do anything else other than horror. Well, you've also got your miniatures. You also have, these various ways that people engage with content, which it's nice because you got the umbrella of nerd, but it's also can be kind of off-putting because the person standing next to you might not know what the hell a Shoggoth is, or has no idea what a RuneQuest rune is, or pirates do what. When you're in one of these niche communities, everyone around you knows Chaosium IP. And there is something so familiar about that experience, because if you turn to your left, if you're waiting in line for a hot dog, if you are at the bar hanging out, most of the people in the room have played The Haunting, and it's something that you can share. It's very easy to connect with other people who have a shared passion, not just for gaming, but for the specific type of games that you're interested in, which is Chaosium. So it's just a unique experience for that, because one, it's very easy to connect, talk, and socialize with people because you're all there celebrating the same IP. The second thing that I'm going to say is going to be consistent across the board, which is one of my favorite aspects of Chaosiumcon, is that the Chaosium staff is accessible. They are on the ground. If you want to have a conversation with Mike Mason, he's going to be at the bar and he's ready to talk to you. You can go through the I'm shy and scared to approach. You can fangirl. You can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you can walk up to Mike and be like, hey, Mike, I really love what you did with blah, blah, blah. I have a question about this. And you can have a conversation. If you had a dire inquiry about Rivers of London, Lynn Hardy is going to be somewhere around. If you want to get into a fun, active, amazing game, Matt Ryan is going to be somewhere. If you are a professional in the gaming industry and you need to have a conversation with one of the partners or our head of marketing, Brian Holland, they're going to be there. If you know you want to publish on a community content program, but you have no idea where to start, or you're just kind of like community content curious, Nick Brook or myself are going to be there. So it's an amazing experience to have that much talent that's just accessible at your fingertips, where you can just walk up to any of these Chaosium employees and be like, hey, so what's really going on with the licensing with blah, blah, blah? Oh, sit down. Let me tell you about it. And that is just something that you don't get at a lot of conventions, is just that ability to sit back and just touch somebody that works in the company that you enjoy playing games with and that you spend time with.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember at Expo, UK Games Expo one time, I remember saying to one of the staff on the stand, and I was saying, folks, why don't you get yourself some interns? Take the money so you can kick back and relax. And it's not the point. It is, we are here. We are Chaosium. We are this kind of company where you can meet us, you can talk to us, and they'll tell you as much as they can.
Correct.
So that's really fantastic to have everyone there.
Oh, it's so cool to have the tribe on the ground there. I mean, I still fangirl over Mike Mason, and I work here, and I still like, oh my God, there's Mike Mason. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Mike Mason probably knows me as the guy that waves to him at conventions.
Yeah.
I just listen to all of his stuff online, so it's kind of like, Mike, I'd love to talk to your work about Dark Heresy, how that's going to influence Cthulhu space and everything like that. But yes, no, it is just kind of like, he doesn't know you. he doesn't know you. He hasn't met you properly.
And it doesn't matter. Go say hi. Go buy him a drink. Just go sit down next to him. Or go find a me that'll facilitate introductions. You guys got options. When you get to Chaosiumcon, find a loud one. Just find a me.
The evening elements. Do you usually do these LARP sort of things? Because when somebody says to me LARP, it's kind of, I don't want to run around a field hitting people loosely dressed up as goblins with a plastic sword. If you love that sort of thing and it works for you, brilliant, enjoy it.
Yeah.
It doesn't kind of work for me. So LARP, do I need to step back a bit and go find the other bar, or is there something that, let's take the American one, for example.
Yeah.
Was that all, everybody needs to go insane, here's a card now, you have to go and act like a lunatic for 20 minutes?
I'm with you. Okay, I'm with you. So I'm going to step back and reframe, hopefully not reframe your question because that would be disrespectful, but kind of like reframe the conversation. So when you're looking at Chaosiumcon, there's a ton of programming regardless of what it is. So when Cosmic made the statement about me being in a flapper costume, that was a programming that we host every Thursday night at Chaosiumcon Ann Arbor that is like Meet the Tribe, meet and greet. So there's an open bar, we usually theme it, and then there's free hors d'oeuvres for everyone to eat, plenty of food for everyone to eat. And we theme it each year, and last year was the Roaring 20s Speakeasy. So you had mobster suits and you had people in flapper dresses, and it was just a whole big wonderful thing. For example, this is the 50th year anniversary for Chaosium. So this one is just like worlds of chaos. You can come anything you want. You can come as a pirate. You can come as a knight. You can come as a Bronze Age hero. You can come in your flat. It doesn't matter. Just as long as it's RIP, live your truth. Those are the different like cool special programming things that we have. Another one would be like live shows. Another one would be like the Rune Quest or the Cthulhu Masters Tournament, things of that nature. What you're referring to was just a normal programming that happened at Chaosiumcon that's Symphony sponsored. So from my knowledge, in the 4 years that I've been helping run Chaosiumcon Ann Arbor, there was never a LARP until Symphony brought one. So my company brought a LARP to the other company that I work with. So, we hosted a 1920s roaring 20s ball drop LARP that my friend and I, Heinrich Moore, actually wrote together, and then we ran. I don't do, and I'm going to mispronounce. I'm going to mispronounce this or misphrase this, but love me. But the LARP you're talking about, I think, are called bopper LARPs or boffer LARPs. Those are the ones that are like, you throw the fireball and there's big combats. And no, when we're looking at like the LARPs that we run from a horror perspective, they are high immersion, sinister, political machinations, moving back and forth, political. Like, I don't think there was a single combat in our entire LARP. We didn't even have combat rules written into it other than like, hey, throw paper, rock, scissors to, resolve a challenge or something of that nature. So Symphony brought the first LARP to Chaosiumcon Ann Arbor, and we are actually bringing back another one this year. So super excited. We'll have another LARP April of 2025.
Nice.
Did that help answer your question, or did I go on some weird tangent? Okay.
No, that's fine, because I did, well, you know me, Cosmic rarely knows what he's talking about.
And it's Monday, honey. We get grace.
It is.
It is Monday like a Monday, honey.
And I think that is one of the enjoyable aspects of going to conventions, is seeing all these things, because it wasn't mandatory to attend.
Nope, not at all. Everything is optional. No, a la carte. You build your experience.
Yeah, because I have to admit, when I'm hopefully going to get to the Chaosiumcon in the UK, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
Because I want to take it all in. I want to see people. I want to meet people. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I want to tie myself down for 4 hours out of a 20-hour event in a game session. So I might skip the games. I might just talk to people. I might do everything. But it's very much take it at your own pace.
Take it at your own pace and go for what you want to go for.
Bridgett, I'm kind of worried if I don't engage with anything, am I going to miss out on stuff? Is there advice for somebody who's a wilting flower, so to speak? They go to this convention because everybody's going to be there. They know it's going to be a thing, but I don't know where to start. What do I do?
Yeah, babe, I'm going to reverse this question for you. Now, you can answer this hypothetically, or you can answer it in real time. What do you want out of your experience?
Oh, that's. I want to enjoy myself.
Okay.
I want to meet people and enjoy myself. How's that?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay. What does enjoyment at a convention look like for you? How is that framed or phrased? And if you don't know, that's still perfectly fine. Chaosiumcon is a great place, again, because of that familiarity and that accessibility. It's a great place to discover that for yourself. But what does convention enjoyment typically look like for you?
I think it is something to do more with feeling. Something that gets me excited.
Okay.
Something that gets me to go, wow.
Okay.
When you hear something that you come away going, wow, that was really cool. There's a podcast online, you might have heard of him, Kevin Smith, filmmaker, everything. He just says, show me something new that I've not seen before. And I think that's a great way of looking
that's
at it.
Great framing. Okay. So this would be my reverse pitch to you, Cosmic, or anyone who made that statement to me. I am looking to have a good time. I'm looking to meet people, and I want to be wowed. I want to walk away with something new. And if you told me that and said, all right, Bridgett, what do I do at Chaosiumcon? This would be my recommendation. If you want to meet people, make sure you look at the schedule for the events that are specific towards meeting people. There are meet and greets. There are signings. There are workshops. There are open bar hours. If you're looking to meet people, prioritize opportunities into your schedule that are specific towards meet and greet or networking or mixer, words like that, events like that. If you're looking for a wow factor, at every Chaosiumcon, typically we're releasing a book that hasn't hit the shelf yet. That's a great way to go, ooh, I put hands on that, or ooh, I saw this thing. Also, the cool thing with that is the creator of that book or the editor or the marketing director, somebody affiliated with that book is going to be within 200 feet of you. It'd be a great opportunity to go get that book signed. That's a great way to meet new people. It'd be a great opportunity to ask that person questions. We create things because we're getting paid to do so, but also because we love it. So most people love talking about their creations. Tee up those conversations like, what was your favorite aspect of working on this book? Or what was your biggest challenge? Or what would be your advice for me doing that? And if you're also looking for a wow or a cool factor, I would look at panels and I would look at workshops, because a lot of these panels and workshops or live shows are very low impact and low expectation on you. All you have to do is sit back. But just like you're listening to a podcast right now, listening to the perspective of Cosmic and I, imagine sitting in a room with Jeff Richard, Mike Mason, and Lynn Harding discussing, development of a new product. You're going to walk out with some wow, because the games that you love playing are created by the people who are going to be offering their perspective. It's a win. Those would be my recommendations based on what you just said. Now, baby, some people go to conventions just to run games. If you're, Big Al Diesel, you go to a convention that only runs 20 hours and you somehow find a way to run 30 hours worth of damn games. That's what he wants to do. Go live your truth. I hate running games, period, at conventions. You will rarely see me running a game at a convention. Your mileage will vary based on your bandwidth, your social capacity, and what you're looking for out of the experience.
That is such a wonderful answer. Thank you so much.
We didn't get Monday.
Dear, oh dear. Now, what I like to do at this point in the show is break it up with some music.
Ooh, okay.
Should know by now, I'm a great fan of Sirenscape, and this one track I thought captured a great mood. This is Visions of Asaric, composed by Tim Wilhelm.
Ooh.
The amazing Visions of Aesaric, composed by Tim Wilhelm, also known as Unsettling Music, from Gears of Hate Part 2 Soundset, available on Sirenscape. I think that creepy music has set the scene for the wonderful world of Symphony Entertainment.
Yeah.
Where did Symphony come from? Because did you do Miskatonic University before or after?
This was after. Yeah, so Symphony Entertainment was born first. What is the fastest way I can say how Symphony emerged? Symphony emerged.
Splat.
Blah. I left a gaming convention. I think it was Origins or maybe Count on the Cob, somewhere in Ohio. I left a gaming convention, and my best friend and I were in the car, and we were talking about a gaming group called Rogue Cthulhu that put on, regular games, and they always had like little block parties at conventions, and they hosted a lot of special programming, and it was a great community. And I was talking to my best friend. He's actually Symphony's VP, Robert Lambert. I was like, I want to do the same thing, but I want it branded specifically towards horror games, and I want it branded towards blah, 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 blah. He's like, okay, so why don't you go build that? I was like, okay, I will. And literally that's how Symphony started. So Symphony Entertainment originally started off as a gaming club that would be featured running games and hosting programming and building communities at gaming conventions. And then, of course, the world ended and we onboarded this new actual play aspect of it because the world ended and we all had to move with it. Miskatonic University podcast came by afterwards.
It really did bring an end to life as we knew it.
Because, baby, we are not the same today as we were prior to that event. None of us are.
Absolutely.
The game has completely changed.
Yeah, and I think it's quite good because it's, to some extent, given us a shared trauma.
Agreed.
We all know
good articulation.
What we have come through, it makes us stronger. We're certainly more connected.
Yes.
I tell people at work, last night I was playing with a German, someone from Croatia, and 2 people from Sweden.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
It's beautiful, right? Right?
Really, really is. And Symphony, you went with the general term Symphony Entertainment as opposed to the Symphony Horror Role-Playing Podcast because you didn't want to pigeonhole yourself? Or?
No, yes, sir. No, great question. So the legal entity name for Symphony Entertainment is Symphony Entertainment Gaming and Arts. Sega for short, but it was cute when I came up with that name in 2018 and now I hate it. But anyways, Sega for short, Symphony Entertainment Gaming and Arts. Again, at the point that Symphony was birthed or originated, I had never been on a podcast before. At that point, I had never even watched an actual play. So that wasn't even on my radar. That metabolized into my experience as the world ended and we had to navigate out. So yeah, like even right now, like I don't have a podcast because listen, you and I were just talking about the horrors of editing. I don't want to learn how to edit. Symphony's not making enough money at this point in time where I can pay an editor. So it's one of those situations like we're going to do actual plays on Twitch because that can give me the highest quality of what my experience will allow at the time being. And we're going to rock out from there. But yeah, so Symphony, that brand originally started as just like a convention, community, brand, event space. And it has since evolved into actual plays, podcasts, my personal brand, my personal business. It also does everything from publishing to, blah, 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 blah. So I'm basically filtering all of that from a business model through Symphony.
It's a good way to look at it, funneling things through.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that Symphony doesn't really do particularly? Because you mentioned the in-person games at a Chaosiumcon. That
Yes,
was
sir.
Symphony bringing that to it. I'm guessing it's you're not up for children's parties unless you can bring the Chainsaw Massacre to life for children. But one thing, folks, this is where Cosmic gets to talk and spurt up things, just general random thoughts. There was a chap I met at the UK Games Expo who's an amazing YouTuber, but then he went on to his channel and basically he said to folks, "Hi, I'm pretty much ending this channel.
Oh, okay.
YouTube have told me that I need to do something new. I need to be interesting, and here's what I'm going to do."
Oh, okay.
And I was just thinking, damn, that's some seriously, commitment to where you're going, where you're journeying. And it got me thinking about Roll for Sanity. Where's Roll for Sanity going to go?
Yeah.
So do you have that plan for Symphony, where you're going, with this business funnel that you've got? Are you thinking, yes, we're going to make it to X, to Y, to Z, and then take over the world? No.
And then take over the world. Yes, taking over the world. Cosmic has seen our ultimate plan. Is going to take over the world in horror role
The
play.
assassins are after me. But just to sort of like pin it back down, because I don't want to make it too vast for you, but
Yeah.
your goal for Symphony.
Oh, what it is such a multifaceted answer. So I'll take it down to the bare bones of his hearts. I'll do that part, and then we can rock out from there.
Sure.
One of the things I'll do, just the passion aspect of Symphony, because at the end of the day, Symphony is a business, so I need to monetize. I want to make money off of Symphony, and that comes from Patreon backers, that comes from YouTube, that comes from Twitch, that comes from speaking engagements, that comes from publishing royalties, blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, it's a business. I have bills that need to get paid. That is what it is. I think at my heart, where do I want Symphony to go? It's where it's on its way to now, but I would like to see it in a much larger scale. Cosmic. Symphony has launched, I'll say at least 30 to 40 brand new streamers into the industry. There are so many people running around on other podcasts, other streams, large channels, large platforms, because Symphony said, hey, we're new stream friendly. Come to us, we'll get you outfitted, we'll show you what you need to do, and then we'll put you in that space so you can overcome that fear, you can get over your own doubts, and you can experience what performance level horror actually is, and you can get comfortable with it, and then you can take those experiences and run off and go launch your own platform, or you can go join someone else's platform, or you too can start monetizing. So where is Symphony going? Obviously it's a business model, so I want it to grow as far as just its income, but from that core inner part of me that I just really love about Symphony is how supportive and how encouraging and how empowering we are to new streamers. That is something that I would love to see, and I would love to grow, and I would love to cultivate, and I would love to have more of. Is you've never done it before? Come do it with us. We do it safely. We'll give you the tools that you need, and then you can come and do it with us as often as you want, and then you can go off and do it for yourself or do it somewhere else. That's probably one of the things I want to see as a goal, is to continue to provide opportunities for people to come in and stream and do actual plays for the first time. That's one of the things I'm most proud of when it comes to the Symphony.
Yeah, for those of you who've not checked out Symphony, take a look, because you have so many shows that you do with all these brand new faces. It really is nice to see. Oh, who are they? Oh, they're cool.
Right? Yes. It's so encouraging. It's so refreshing.
Which show do you prefer to do and enjoy the most? You mentioned, the one with the least amount of editing. Okay.
Yeah. Because Bridgett doesn't know what editing is, and you, you are a fantastic editor, Cosmic. You really are. You are just a delightful editor, and your editing has a certain style and flavor to it that I can recognize. I don't know how you do it.
Neither do I.
You're right, that makes two of us.
But do you prefer the purely improvised games where we don't know what the hell is going to happen in this hour, but we're going to rock it? Or do you prefer we've got a game, somebody's being a keeper for us, and we all fit into the various scenarios, adventures that they bring to the party?
Oh, that's such a tough question. Cosmic, it depends on how, if you were asking like personally what Bridget prefers, it depends on what I'm in the mood for on any given day. You know how like your palate changes during the week or during the month or during the season? There's soup season, there's also salad season, there's a better season. I go in and out with my preferences. Like right now I only want to do this for 60 minutes and I want to go back to bed. So those symphony sonatas, the 60 minutes of fully improvised horror are bite-sized. I love the improvisational skills that they build in myself and others. So that's what I'm on right now, which is why you're seeing so many of them. I can feel myself looking and feeling and searching for something a little bit more grounded and a little bit more sustainable and something that's more long form storytelling. So I can already tell like my mind is turning that corner where I'm ready to start this next campaign and actually get like an 8 or 10 episode arc of something out on Symphony. So really it kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for at any given time. There are lows and highs to any type of material that you approach.
And does the variety of games get confusing sometimes? There's a YouTube channel I catch called Dungeon Musings, and they play all kinds of systems. I don't know how Kev keeps up with all the rules.
Oh, baby. Listen. Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. But you know what? The one thing that Symphony has in our corner is we are far more focused on the story and the narrative than we are typically on the mechanics. So our mechanics over on the Symphony, our flavor profile of storytelling, the mechanics typically take a back seat and we can focus on the story, the players, and the narrative. So yeah, do the mechanics get super confusing? Yeah, I can't Cosmic. I remember one time I was playing, I think, an alien game, and I needed to call for a perception check. I think it was perception or whatever. See, we're about to do it right now. I think it's called perception or awareness. But whatever it is, you combine two skills and that's your dice pool. And I could not think of anything other than spot hidden. I was like, make me a spot hidden. God, this is not the spot hidden. What is it called? Is it awareness? No, it's perception. No, what is it called? Just roll the I find it thing. That happens pretty often.
It is that story.
Yes.
It is the decision-making time. You roll the dice, whatever it is, whether you can add a bonus dice to it or you roll 2d20 and add your skill to it.
Yep,
and
whatever it is. Yeah.
So different, but it's a story at the end of the day.
I have a question for you. Have you gotten to a point where you started merging skills like that? Ooh. Has it happened to you before? You're calling for like a dex, but the only thing you can think of is agility, or do you...
The thing is, Cosmic is very simple. Unless it's a game with percentage-based dice, Cosmic doesn't play it.
Here we go. You have a type. This is good.
Oh my God. Like I say, this is my podcast.
Yep.
If you enjoy these games I'm about to mention, knock yourself out. For me, no. The one that does my head in is 2d20.
Oh yeah, 2d20 is going to be tough.
A group of players I enjoy watching their actual play, and they spent 5 minutes dealing with how dangerous a door was going to be. And it was just, I couldn't even work out what they were doing with, I'm going to carry this threat forward and I'm going to go this pool here. Now, I know somebody else who plays the 2d20 system, and it's absolutely fine for them. They roll through it.
Yeah.
It's too confusing for me.
Yeah.
And also the flexibility. I played some Dungeons and Dragons with some folks, and I was looking for something other than the perception test. Do you have anything else other than perception? Like listen or smell or...
Yeah.
No, it really is just perception. Well, that's really efficient. That's a great way. Anything you need to know, roll a perception. Boom, you've done it. I kind of preferred the plethora of skills.
Yeah. Like the spectrum of different ways to engage with the... Yeah.
But if you enjoy your game, enjoy it, folks. Now,
Say
one thing I
that
know
again.
you enjoyed was when you appeared at the PAX Australia and had that great game with the stream of chaos.
Oh my God.
What is it like to do an actual play on a stage that big?
Cosmic is horrifying. Hard stop is horrifying. And you were talking to one person that, as a rule, doesn't have a problem being in front of crowds or addressing people at mass. It's horrifying.
So many.
Oh my God. Oh my God, it's horrifying. So, okay, just a quick backing into this. So, I was a guest of honor at PAX Australia a couple years ago, and they had us in one of those big, massive auditoriums that was like sold out, and there were, we were like, it was lights, camera, action. So there were cameras in your face. There were all these heavy lights coming onto you. I'm already a big girl, so I was hot and I was sweating, and everyone was looking at me. But let me tell you, one of the things that just completely eviscerated me, Cosmic, going through this experience, is the fact that they had to mic you up prior to going on stage.
Oh, okay.
Now, I was fine with the physical miking up experience, like dropping the mic down my shirt and, attaching it to my bra. But hey, your one mic is now pinned to the left side of your cheek. This headset needs to go into your right ear. And this one is going to be, so the right headset is going to be the production staff talking to you. So if something needs to be addressed, you're going to hear it on this one. But the other one is the cast and crew that is working in the story with you. So you're hearing two different streams of audio at the same time. The blinding lights where you can't see the people, but you know that they're there. You know that they're watching, but you can also feel their tangible energy coming off. You're in front of a Zoom screen. You say something funny. You hope it's funny. Maybe the table found it funny, but you don't know if the guy at home thought it was funny. Maybe they give you some type of feedback on the chat. No, you get your reactions in real damn time when you're sitting in a room with like 500 people on whether or not your joke landed or whether your horror was too much. I mean, it's a sensory overload. It is horrifying, but oh my God, Cosmic, is it so absolutely electrifying as well. There's so many vivid memories that I have of sitting on that stage and just trying to process everything that was happening simultaneously. It's an incredible experience, but boy, is it terrifying. It is, whoo, it's horrifying, but man, is it electrifying.
Yeah. Watching it back, it was really engaging. The Stream of Chaos crew, fantastic actual play.
They're so good.
If you've not checked them out, have a look at the Stream of Chaos. It's really fun, really interesting to listen to them go through. And they all have different characters that they play. Yeah. Dave always seems to be the keeper.
Yes.
James always tries to do the right thing. And just that moment you had with James, and he was trying to bring you on side to his character's perspective. The horror got real for this character, and they needed all the compatriots they could find, and they just looked at you, and this is the thing that probably wouldn't have landed too well on a Zoom call. You just put your headphones on,
right? To ignore them. Yes.
To ignore them, and oh my God, the place erupted because they see it on the big screen,
right.
And it was just such a great moment of the game. So much.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, and thank you for watching too.
It was so fun to watch. Everybody knows what they're doing, and when you have that kind of spectacle for Call of Cthulhu. We're playing Call of Cthulhu here. We're not
right.
Super big multinational company.
Yes.
Pulling in millions. It's Call of Cthulhu, and there's I'm right in saying there were thousands of people there, right?
So in that particular room, babe, I want to say that room might have been outfitted for 4,000 people. I can't tell you the exact number of people that were there. It was a lot of people, though. I'll say that much.
Huge amount.
I can ask Brian Holland and see if he remembers, and if you want to put it in your show notes or your notes, you could. Yeah, but I'll try to figure out how. It was a lot of people in that room, though.
Amazing.
I know, absolutely amazing. There's just, whew, what an experience. I getting chills thinking back to it right now. Ugh.
Now, crystal ball or magic genie time.
Oh, okay.
What would your ideal, achievable cast for a symphony game be? What would you want to play with them?
Really? You would ask me that question, Cosmic? That's such a... I hate you. Oh.
Now, folks, if Bridget doesn't call your name, it doesn't mean she doesn't love you.
Nope, it absolutely doesn't.
Just
ideal, achievable cast for a symphony game? Yeah. What would you play? Okay,
so you've seen them on anything. So you know they do role-playing.
Yeah, I know they do great work.
So...
Okay. Because what it is, my imagination is stretching so far, and I'm going so wide. I'm going to narrow my focus.
This is the cosmic outpost.
I know this cosmic, and you're being so cosmic right now. I love it. All right, baby. Versus going very, very wide, because everything in my heart, like, I would love to have a Cynthia Marie at my table. I would absolutely love to have a London Carlisle at my table. I would love to have a B.D. Walters. But I'm going to bring my focus all the way back into my own backyard, because the gems that are in the backyard of Symphony are incredible. Oh, Jesus. I don't know whether I want to do 10 candles or whether I want to do Dread. I'm going to do 10 candles. Let's start there. So if I can do an ideal achievable cast for 10 candles. I don't know if you're familiar with this game, guys, but this is a collaborative storytelling game where you automatically TPK at the very end, and you know that you're going to TPK at the end, but it's all about the emotional beats that happen and the shared narrative and the yes and horrors, that happens in front of it. And you have a physical candle in front of you, and every time one of your character dies or something happens, you blow the candle out, blah, blah, blah. Lots of really cool theatricality and things like that. The trick is with this game system, the way it's set up, is everyone is the GM and no one is the GM at the same time. It's one of those. There's a story facilitator, but mostly, you can tee up an entire scene where you're describing the room, the events, the natural catastrophe, whatever. Which, the one time that I've played it, I've seen that this would work best with all GMs, like people who are used to telling stories or facilitating stories. So if I can get my ideal cast off on this one, I would want Rena Henze. I would want Tracy A. I would want Carl Lehman. And I would want Bucho Rodenberger. And I think I would also want... I need a real hurt me daddy factor. Matt Doc Tracy. Yeah, I think that cast, if we all looked each other dead in the face in a dark room with a tea-lit candle in front of us, and we collectively agreed, let's go dark, we would over-deliver in the pure overwhelm of how intimate horror could go. That would be my cast, and that would be my game. I need to write that down. Hold on.
Yeah. That sounds absolutely amazing, because one thing I kind of wish there was a little bit more of is something that you've just described.
Yeah.
The PAX Australia stage, it's great. Everybody's having a fantastically fun time. There's lots of laughter, lots of enjoyment. But sometimes I just want that chill moment.
Yes.
You have people in a room with 10 candles. Looking at each other. Not laughing, not joking.
Nope.
Because everybody's gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be such a great thing to look at. And
just super intense, right?
Coin an old Star Trek phrase and make it so.
Ooh.
Because that is something I would love to do. The Arkham Horror games that Mark Mears has done, they touched on it, but they weren't entirely what I was after out of an in-studio, a full production kind of game. They had some really intense moments that, really touched on the horror. But for me, they were still in the surround.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, when you do a performance, you can have people just out the front where they are in a square. You are one side of the square, they are one side of the square, and then you just face them. In surround, it's more the audience is all around you. And that was kind of how it felt. They were addressing everybody, and they were arranged in a half circle. For me, I want to shoot it drama style.
Oh,
where
okay.
You drama style, almost soap opera style. So the wonderful thing about actual plays is you feel like you are taking a seat at that person's table.
At that person's table, yep.
And in the soap opera, where you film it, you should feel like you're sitting in that cafe opposite these characters, or in this pub, or down the street from them. And filming an actual play drama style just breaks it up a bit, makes it, as we were talking about earlier, gets that immersion into it. When I did Drop of Nelson's Blood for the Miskatonic Playhouse, I deliberately set the cameras up so they weren't facing all in the same direction. So we weren't playing it to an invisible audience. I had two cameras over my shoulders, seeing what I could see. So I tried to put you in my perspective.
Oh, that is so
sitting around
cool.
the table. And, the cameras was, facing where the audience would sit. But just breaking up that style. So, if I could, we're dreaming. So, if it's crystal
but I
ball or
still love it. Yeah.
Magic Genie time, I will fly to our studio in LA when it opens, and I will film your wonderful crew in that fantastic drama style.
Yes. Cosmic, let's do the thing. I'll see you
absolutely.
next week. We'll get it ready.
Absolutely. Now, we're running out of time.
Okay.
But last time you were on, we looked at the Regency, and we
that's right. We did talk a lot about Regency. Yeah.
As a player, folks, do check that one out if you've not heard it, and also remind me of the name of your scenario.
Yes, sir. It's Echoes in the Mist.
Echoes in the Mist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, you've played lots of games since last we spoke.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a character you'd like to tell us about, or maybe you'd like to play again, and why?
Ooh. Oh my goodness, that's such a great question. Okay. Character that I would love to play again, and why? Oh my goodness, there's so many delicious characters, and there's so much to explore. Okay, the character that I think I would like to play again, and why? Oh, Cosmic, I should have written this character's name down, and I can't think of the name of the character. So, over on Red Moon Role Playing, Matthew Dawkins ran a great series of Curseborne.
Coriolis?
Curseborne.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is Curseborne. Yeah,
Curseborne.
they also ran Coriolis. I need to actually go listen to that Coriolis because I hear it's great. And Red Moon Role Playing walks on water. But no, Matthew Dawkins ran a Curseborne game, and I got to play, I was playing a character named Z, just like the letter Z. Z was a were-spider that could walk around in human form. And Cosmic, the reason I'm hesitating but also leaning into this is I have a phobia of spiders. So spiders are usually my red line in games. But this was the character she presented to me, and I was like, I'm going to lean into my discomfort and see how that affects my storytelling. And it went off beautifully, but just like a spider has all these tendrils and webs pouring off of her, my character was like that with an information network. So she could, take information and move it from place to place. She was an information broker and informant, like a journalist in that nature.
Yeah.
I got to play that same character in 3 different story arcs that Matthew Dawkins run. 2 on Red Room Role Playing, and then 1, I believe, directly on his platform for Onyx Path. And I would absolutely positively lean back into that character for the sheer, it's so hard to describe. Cosmic, I'm going to try to make this really short. That character pushed a lot of edges that I haven't been comfortable with going in a long time. Not only just because I have a fear of spiders and I was playing a character that was basically a walking spider, but also Matthew Dawkins has this brilliant storytelling ability where he'll take you to the edge and then look back at you and it's like, it's your choice. You can meet me here or not. I will have a good time either way. And I continue to creep closer and closer to the edge of things that make me super uncomfortable and then explore where they go. And Z is one of those characters that I went to a lot of really dark places with and was just like, this is usually where Bridgett would turn back. But I feel so safe with Matthew Dawkins and his style of storytelling that I'm just going to keep pushing. And that was terrifying to push my own boundaries like this. But it was so safe and the payoff was incredible. I would play Z again.
You'll have to ping me the link to Red Moon's role playing.
Yes, sir. I absolutely will. Yes, sir, I will.
I've been with them since day 1 on their Warhammer Fantasy roleplay Enemy Within campaign. And I think they've just burst 100 episodes.
Did they just knock out 100 episodes in that? Jesus.
Yes. It has been going, and there's going to be some times when you have the action episode and they have the slower episodes. But when Red Moon Role Playing do an action sequence, God, it is a lesson in how to run a game session.
Oh my God, both of my arms are up in the air and I'm high. I am high snapping. Yes, honey. Agree.
It is so it does take a bit of an art to do that. So, last couple of questions. Do you have any cool war stories that you'd like to share? And also, any transferable skills from those systems like Curseborne that you've brought into Call of Cthulhu that we can learn from here on Roll for Sanity?
Oh, I really love this question. Oh, this is really, really good. Okay. Because Roll for Sanity does have a focus on Call of Cthulhu. We've already mentioned that is your favorite game and one of your places that you have to.
Cthulhu.
Yes.
Plenty of other podcasts out there for keepers. This is for the players.
This is for the players. Oh, war stories I would like to share, and then how I can bring over that advice over to you. I think I know where you're going with this question, and I might not stick the landing on it, but we're going to send thoughts and prayers and see what happens. I think for a great war story that has happened with my experience in playing horror tabletop role-playing games and something you can bring over to Call of Cthulhu, Cosmic, you and I spoke a lot today on immersion and atmosphere and those big cinematic moments. I'm going to say all of us have sat down at tables, have had poor war stories to come back with where the table wasn't consistent as far as the vibe or the expectation on the storytelling, or somebody was trying to be the comedic relief the entire time while someone else was trying to do deep immersion, and that awkward contrast where it just doesn't land. Versus going into one of those negative war stories on an interview that has been so uplifting and so insightful, and Cosmic, you just make my heart happy on so many different levels. Instead of leaning into one of those negative war stories, I'm going to give you some advice or tools that you can take into your next Call of Cthulhu experience as a player. When you sit down at the table, see if you can set the tone prior to start a play with the most transparent level of communication you can. Hey guys, we're playing Call of Cthulhu tonight. Great. We're going to be running stage fright. What is the vibe and expectation of the game? And have everyone understand on the front end, this is a cozy, fun mystery, or this is a deep and dark and brooding story, or this is go bonkers, go insane as fast as you can, it doesn't matter, or hey guys, this is one of those games that's going to hurt from start to finish. But set those expectations on the front end and see how that changes the course of your play. You'd be very surprised what you would get off of sitting down at a table and going, okay, Cosmic, you're running, I don't know, you're running The Haunting. What vibe do you want today? Okay, we all commit to that same vibe, and then look and see what it does for your storytelling. That's what I'll leave you with.
That is fantastic advice. Well, that just about wraps up our Symphony episode.
I can't believe we've been going for an hour. You are so energizing, Cosmic. You're just like good for my health on a Monday. Oh, I love you so much. I needed this.
It is so wonderful to have you back on the podcast again. Bridgett, where can folks find you when we haven't plugged you enough?
Yes, sir. Listen, guys, for Symphony, all things horror, tabletop role-playing, or LARP, or publishing, or anything, just go to symphonyentertainment.com. All of my socials are there. And then if you need to get in touch with me on a Chaosium forward capacity because you want to join our organized play program, The Cult of Chaos, or you want to start publishing your own scenarios on the Miskatonic Repository, our community content program where you can be publishing for Call of Cthulhu, email me at Bridgett@chaosium.com. That's a bridge that you walk across with 2 T's at chaosium.com. Cosmic, you've been, per usual, an absolute delight. Thank you for being exactly who you are. Thank you for doing the things that you do. Thank you for making me feel so welcome. And thank you for super thoughtful and engaging questions. This was a great interview.
It's been my pleasure. Folks, there should be some show notes on the website for all the things we mentioned. So feel free to visit the blog. Thanks for joining us. And we'll roll for sanity again soon.
Mwah. Bye, guys.